All right, so now we're going to be making the background where we're going to learn a new photo merge technique, and then we are also going to be learning about blending modes, all right? So the photos that we're starting off with are this piece of paper, 119. We have the sunset. We have the background, the field picture here, okay? So the first thing that we want to do is merge the sunset with the field. Now, it looks weird right now because there is, like a hard edge. So we need to get rid of that hard edge. What's important is you can see that I have a huge amount of overlap here. All right, so there's a large amount of overlap here. We're going to use the cutout tool, and you're going to use it in an interesting new way to show you how you can do this. We are going to use the gradient mask, okay? So gradient mask is basically going to use black versus white to tell the thing where to be invisible. And we can do this with a linear gradient or a radial gradient. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to click from here and drag down. So you can see it's black, white at the top, so it's going to be visible, or black at the bottom where it's going to be invisible. And the amount that I drag is going to give me a different amount of gradient. So Command Z, if I went back too far, so I'm definitely going to go below the sun itself and give it a little bit of gradient there. There. Okay, and it matters the direction. If you go the opposite way, right, it's going to look weird. So, and notice that we want that to overlap, otherwise you're going to see a blank area behind it. Okay? Excellent. So that's looking great already. And we can always move this up a little bit as well if we want. Okay. Excellent. Now we want to put that's a great photo merge technique, the gradient mask. Now we want to put this guy in here. So what we want to do is we want to first scale him so that he's looking good here. I'm going to flip him. So oops, that's a rotate. I'm going to flip horizontal so he's facing this way. And I want him to be behind the rock a little bit, all right? So this can help him look very much more in the world, all right? So to do this, it's actually not that hard. What we're going to do is we're going to take the background photo of the field. I want the rock to be separate, and then I want the rock to be in front of him so that he looks like he's in there. So all we're going to do is come here. We're going to duplicate this layer, so I can do that here, or I can come here and duplicate here as well. Okay, so I'm going to move that on top of him, drag it up. It's all about the layer. Now this looks weird again, but it's pretty simple. All we're going to do is we're going to use our cutout tool, and we're going to add, and I'm just going to do a quick rough cutout. Oops, wrong tool. Let's go ahead and use the lasso tool, my bad. And I'm just going to do a quick mask along this edge. I'm using the remove, so I'm just going to go along this edge and then just go grab the entire top. And it's important that these are perfectly lined up, so you shouldn't move the top one. It should be at the same one. And bam, there you go. You have a thing that is in front of him, so he feels like he is in there, all right? Other helpful things that you can do to make this feel more realistic is to add in some shadows. So for instance, one thing I like to do is, let's say below this, so I'm gonna, below this rock, it would put a shadow on him. So I'm gonna make below the rock, I'm going to make a new empty layer. Okay. Let's see, is it there? Is it there? Oh, it's up top, so I need to bring it below. So between the rock layer and the orange frog layer, I'm gonna just go grab my brush. Actually, I'll grab my my shadow. So I'm gonna grab a shadow color from somewhere on my dock. Yeah, maybe a dark brown. Cool. And then I'm gonna use my brush at a low opacity with a soft brush and a big size. And I'm just gonna paint in a little. Oops, sorry. That was very much a tan color. So okay, excellent. Brush. All right, there we go. If it's not doing the color, switch it. So use the arrow to switch. There you go. So there's my shadow brown to add a little bit of shadow on him so that he looks like he's going behind that rock. All right, I could add shadows on whatever area. All right, excellent. And because it's on its own layer, I can even just go in with my eraser tool. And if I don't like this over here, right, I can just go in and erase that away because it's on its own layer and it's not going to delete any other pixels if I erase that. Excellent. So this is looking great. Final step, blending mode. So cool. So I'm going to turn on my parchment layer. All right, I'm going to bring it above everything else. All right. So it's completely on here. Blending mode is super cool because it allows you to have a top layer interact in terms of, it's like a chemistry experiment. The colors from this top layer are going to interact with the colors below it. So to do this, we come here, we click on this 3 little dots, and we have the blending mode. Right now it's on none. But if I click on it, you see there's all of these different options, and you really just have to go through and see which ones you like. So this, you can see multiply. You can see that texture starting to come through. All right. Screen is too much. Overlay is pretty bright. I'm liking multiply this far. Ooh, darken's not bad. All right, and you can always lower the opacity of this, so, and you can even layer them on top of each other. All right, saturation, black and white, makes sense. All right, cool. I think I like multiply the best on this one. All right, and it just gives it that sort of old-timey feel. All right, overall. And if I wanted to, I could even duplicate this and it will give that even more texture. Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. All right. So there's my overall. We're going to add text next.